My name's Gordon Tinline. I'm an experienced business psychologist, and I'm going to share with you some of the insights that I've gained from working with some of the world's leading businesses and organisations. So, empowerment, there's a word we've used in organisations for a lot of years. What do we really mean? I guess what we really mean is we want people to take control, make things happen, be proactive, solve problems. Don't come running to us every time something goes wrong. Try and solve the problem for themselves. Now, as a manager, you may think you do that, and you may even have got to the point where you get quite frustrated and say things like, I've been telling them for years that I want them to take responsibility and be empowered, but they just don't take control. Why is that then? What happens when they get it wrong? That's an area where we quite often, without intending to, in the moment, we attach blame. So we jump on them too early if they've got it wrong without really understanding what's happened. If your reaction is blame, if your reaction is frustration and anger and that's all they experience, they're not going to be empowered for long. Being empowered means you've got to be prepared for people making mistakes. In fact, you could argue if they're not making mistakes that they're not really empowered. They're not taking control, they're not trying to do things differently and solve problems in an innovative and creative way. Because when you do that, you'll get it wrong sometimes. When your people get it wrong and they're trying their very best, you need to step back, you need to talk to them clearly about what went wrong, but you need to be very clear about the fact that they've tried their best to solve problems and take control. If you don't do that, they won't stay empowered. Where you want people just to get on and implement things in a procedural way and do it without deviation or trying to be inventive or creative, be clear on that. There's nothing wrong with that. There are some tasks where that's exactly what we require. Don't pretend with those that they're empowered to do all sorts of things, because they'll just get confused and they won't take control on the things that really matter, where they do need to be inventive, they do need to take responsibility and try and solve problems. If you get that right, if you differentiate properly between where there are things where people need to take control, be creative, try things in different ways, and where there are things where you don't want them doing that, and you reinforce it positively, you've got a great chance of making empowerment work in your organisation and really seeing the benefits of that and people taking control and making things happen.